Hey, what's up guys? So yes, I am here with Star Wars Rebels Season 2, Episode 17, I believe. Shroud of Darkness. Now, this episode, oofta, it may have been, I just want to fix the camera here a little bit. I think I made it worse, but whatever. This episode was pretty freaking cool. I really felt like this episode, sorry guys, was an episode that they would have done in the Clone Wars period of time, and I thought this really does. I felt like this was an episode that would have been in the Clone Wars, and I really did like it, you know, because it really did deal with kind of, you know, some stuff, you know, that dealt with the Clone Wars, you know, like the Jedi, all the Jedi stuff that was going on, but also dealing with what the Rebel Alliance is kind of have to do in the original trilogy. And so the main premise of this episode is that Kanan and Ezra are being hunted down by the Inquisitors, and that they need to find a new base for the Rebels. And they're trying to find a planet, but they can't because the Inquisitors are, you know, finding them too quickly. And so they have to get together with Ahsoka, and they go back to Lothal, to this temple, to ask Master Yoda where their new planet could be. And each of these characters goes in their own little journey, and it just is that much better and that much cooler from there. So yes, something I really want to point out about is the characters, the actors. Oh my god, the actors did a fantastic job. Some parts were pretty funny, some little, you know, Easter eggs here and there, like in the beginning of the episode where the Seventh Sister and Kanan have their little back and forth. If you guys didn't know, the actors and actress, the actor and actress who voice Kanan and the Seventh Sister are actually married, and so she's like something, you know, that we should, you know, to get together, and Kanan's like, oh, I'm not in the crazy type anymore, and sorry, and that was pretty funny, and you know, it was a good. That's like, oh, you know, that's kind of cool, but and then we actually get to see Anakin in Star Wars Rebels, which is kind of cool in a hologram form, and then also actually as Anakin in, you know, later on. But it was very cool to see that. The costume, I kind of like it, but it's interesting, like, when did he do that? You know, I'm kind of a nitpicky kind of guy, especially about my Star Wars stuff. And I want to know when he wore that costume, because I originally thought, oh, you know, he could have wore that before, you know, the Clone Wars, you know, because before he had that plating on. But he has his longer hair, and so it would have had to have been, you know, probably after season 6, you know, and he would have had to change again, but I don't think he would have done that, so I don't know what really took place in there. It's just a little nitpicky thing that I just wanted to point out, and, you know, that's how I am. Because if you guys knew me, you know, if I would really go in depth, oh, I'd nitpick a lot of stuff. But moving on to kind of what's next is the visions that everybody had was very interesting. I'm a little bit controversial on the Yoda design that they used. It kind of got a little bit of getting used to right away at the beginning, but I really did like it, and it was based on the original designs from Ralph McQuarrie, I guess, you know, and how it was designed for the Empire Strikes Back. And I thought, you know, it kind of looks a little weird looking, but, you know, I kind of grown. I was like, oh, okay, you know, it isn't that bad. I started to grow on a little bit, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, it's pretty good. And it was very cool, you know, right as they were leaving, you know, Ahsoka turns back, and Yoda's just like, you know, and he gives that little wave because he's like, yeah, don't, I didn't forget you, I'm still here. And it's just like, wow, you know, cool, you know, and because they haven't seen each other since she left, you know, since she walked right out of the door, in season 5, and it was pretty like, whoa, but yeah, it was kind of cool, and just like, oh, that's cool, because, you know, the Clone, you know, everything. And like I said, it really did call back to the Clone Wars a lot for me, in my opinion. And another thing I want to point out is that Ahsoka says that she met Anakin when he was going to rescue the Chancellor. And my question is that before, you know, when in episode 3, right away, you know, like when he's going to rescue the Chancellor with Obi-Wan, he goes and meets with her? Or is it during, right before Mace Windu goes to, like, you know, arrest him? Because I think that would be super, super cool if Anakin would have went to Ahsoka before that happened, before he turned to Darth Vader. I think that would have been that would be so cool. But I don't think the time frame would have worked. And you know, you never know. But like, I think that would be pretty cool because he would actually go and see her before he actually, you know, turned to the dark side. And I thought, I would just think, you know, that's pretty cool, you know, in my opinion. But that's just me. But I think it would make more logical sense that it would have been before the big battle of Coruscant, because apparently Dave Filoni, I watched the Rebels Recon episode before this, said that Ahsoka had a very important role in the end of the Clone Wars, towards the end of the Clone Wars. So, you know, that's probably when they last met, and there was that little animatronic stuff, you know, that was in post-production for the Clone Wars and the reels and stuff that was on there. And so, you know, she had her couple episodes, so maybe that's when they met again. But moving on to the other visions, like what Kanan had. Like, and also this episode had a lot of huge secrets and a lot of interesting things. And we found out at the beginning of this, well, that Dave Filoni said that we would find out where the Grand Inquisitor came from. And I thought, okay, this is kind of cool. Maybe he's in the Clone Wars, you know, go back and watch it. And I watched a theory video the other day. It was like, what if the Grand Inquisitor was a Jedi Temple guard? And that was an interesting theory, and it was actually correct, because he actually was a Jedi Temple guard. And it was interesting because it makes sense. And when you listen to him in the episode, he really does sound like Jason Isaac. Like, is that him? That's him! You know, that is the Grand Inquisitor. Because it started for me to get a little bit used to it, but once they started to fight a little bit more, I was like, oh yeah, that's him. That's the Grand Inquisitor. And then Dave Filoni also said that the Inquisitors have ties to the Jedi. So maybe the Seventh Sister is Barriss Offee. You never know. Because we see that the Grand Inquisitor, he got his marks put on. You know, he didn't have his red marks that the Utapauan people usually have. You know, so who knows? You know, it could have been removed or it could have been put on. Who knows? So that was interesting. And I really did like that fight because Kanan surrendered and he learned, like Luke did, that fighting is not the answer. You know, leaving. You know, that fighting would not be the, you know, just stuff like that. It was very cool, and callback to Return of the Jedi, which was interesting. And so, and if you get it, you understand what I'm kind of referencing at. But, it was all, and I really did like Ahsoka's vision, even though it was kind of short and simple, that Anakin was like, why did you leave? You were so selfish. Okay, you're so selfish, and you should not have left the Order. And then, do you know what I've become? And then, it just turns from the light blue and white to the dark red, and you just see Vader just there, and it's just like, and it's just like, and she just snaps her lightsaber out and just slices right through it. And it was interesting to see that the Inquisitors did find the temple at the end, and that Darth Vader came in, and the last shot was of him. Well, the Jedi are growing more powerful, you know, that will be their undoing. And that was pretty much the end of the episode. And it's going to be interesting to see where we pick off next week. Once we see the characters, you know, what they have to deal with. It's going to be interesting. I want to see where things are going to go. Especially since it's not really dealing with what happened in this episode, you know. Even though it might be, we're picking up with an episode of Chopper, which will be interesting. You know, we haven't seen a lot of his, you know, it'll be interesting to see a new side of his character. Maybe, you know, a little bit of some sentimental side, or, you know, something, you know, learn a little bit more about his backstory. But, I don't know what else to say, guys. I really did like this episode. Like I said, it was a really good callback to the Clone Wars. And I think that's about it, guys. My rating, I'm sure you guys know what it is. It's going to be 5 out of 5 wings. Definitely. I thought this episode was pretty good. Really did like it. And, Star Wars Rebels is going to be on a 2-week break. So they're going to be gone next week. And then, I believe, the week after. And then they'll pick up after that. So, well, here, let me check my calendar here. Woo! Sorry, guys. Show you my calendar here. See Ray there? Yeah, so they'll be picking up on the 16th, which is in 2 weeks. So we'll miss this one, and then we'll get back on that one. Sorry, guys, if you guys didn't like the camera. Like, if you guys couldn't see it there. But, yeah, guys, that's about it. I'll be reviewing the Gotham episode on Saturday because I'm going to be busy for the next couple days. And I'm going to probably talk a little bit about some stuff during that video. So, alright, that's it, guys. J-Way, go get out!